XVONE, up for educational critical review and reaction, is Age of Truth with Jordan Maxwell, on what happens when we die, and the brief reaction is, soiled diet below, sprinkled by soul above, soul testicles and ovaries crossroads, and obviously the real heaven doesn't falsely imprison sentient beings' lives through theft, then chop their heads off through theft after pretending to be their friend, only to burn them on a stake, and devour them, never once thinking about them again. Try, and forgiveness, and keep trying, struggle. Strive, classic rock and roll.
What happens to us when we die?
Yeah, that's a good question, no doubt about it. And I have to honestly say that I don't know. But I'm tending to think that there is something to reincarnation, because all the major religions of the world teach a reincarnation. And it makes sense to me if you are a spirit and living in a human body, a physical body. So the question I asked a long time ago, what are we? Are we a human body that's the home of a spirit living in it? Or were we a spirit to begin with who came into this world and took on a human body? So what are you really? Are you a spirit or are you a physical body? And so now I know. I mean, logic alone tells me that you're a physical body. But I've heard lectures by scientists and doctors who explain what does the brain do? The brain is not what you think it is. If you put a table with 50 brains taken from 50 different people and you just put the brains on the table, you're not going to be able to tell anybody from anybody because all the brains look the same. You don't even know the difference between male and female. They all look the same.
So it's all in the soul. It's all in the spirit.
That's right.
Personality.
That's right. Personality is in the spirit world. Mm-hmm. And the scientist I heard explaining this was a lady scientist, and it was very interesting. She said the question was, what does the brain actually do? And she said, we now know that the brain does only one thing only. It creates and allows for movement. It controls the movement of the brain, the movement of the hands, all of your body functions, where you go, what you're doing. The brain is controlling that. But she said, but where does your creativity, your spiritual self, where does that come from? Your imagination that dreams at night, where does that come from? And she said, we know positively it does not come from the brain. It does not. The brain is physical for the physical body. But you and your spiritual self and who you are and what you think is funny and what you think is evil and what you see and what you believe, that's not in your brain. So if you take the human bodies, male bodies, but cut the heads off, and you got 50 male bodies there, you'll never know who that body belonged to. And if you take those 50 heads and take the brain out, you'll never know who those brains belong to.
But they all had different personalities.
Of course, but they all had different personalities. Why? Because they don't have nothing to do with the body or the brain. They had a personality, which is the word person. And therefore, your persona. And when you came into your body, when you were born, you have a persona, and therefore we call it a person. Mm-hmm. And so you are who you are, but we don't know where you get your ideas.
So let's, of course, assume that we have a soul.
I totally believe that, yes.
Yes. So people who've had near-death experiences and who's had out-of-body experiences and even through...
I've had them, yeah.
Right, and even who's been in deep meditation and other things.
Yeah,
but especially people who've been dead. They've been through this tunnel of light with colors. They went to this white light dimension, which a lot of religions refer to as heaven. Yep. They saw people that had gone before them, family members, and they saw a Jesus figure if they were Christian, or Muhammad, or whatever is the faith that they believe in. They see something called the life review. They see everything that they did in their lives. Yep. And then they are asked if they want to correct something or go back in another body with a wiped memory.
Yeah.
So that's reincarnation.
The phenomena that we call reincarnation is true. There's no doubt about that. But it's very tricky because we know that there have been many, many hundreds of cases where people, kids, young children, would tell you that they were here 1,000 years ago and that they saw this king do this, and they saw this, they saw that, and they give you, and they tell you exactly where things were and all of that.
Memory.
And then, yeah, from a memory. And then you find out later on they were right. They went and dug it up and found what they said those kids said was there. And so that obviously they were there. No, that's not obvious that they were there. It may be a soul memory, but it doesn't mean that they were there at all. There may be spirit entities we call angels, jinns, whatever you want to call these other world entities. And maybe these spirits, what we call angels, maybe they were there 500 years ago, and they saw everything going on. And so today we could take a tape recorder or a digital camera and videotape somebody's voice and hear everything they're saying, and forever. You've got them, and when they die, 20 years later, you can still show, and it looks like them talking. It was them. You recorded it. So I'm saying that maybe when we are talking to people who have these wonderful ancient things that have happened to them, no, it didn't happen to you. It happened to one of those archons. It happened to one of those spiritual entities that we call demons, angels, devils, whatever they are, whatever these spirits are, and they are putting that into your mind.
Like another form of mind control.
Precisely. And so here you can sit there and talk about all these wonderful experiences you had in Egypt. You were never in Egypt. They were.
So people who've had near-death experiences, atheists, people who do not believe in any kind of religion or anything, and they don't know each other, a lot of them, most of the accounts, they say the same thing. With the tunnel and the white light frequency, is that a real dimension, or is it an illusionary dimension? Some people are beginning to suggest that that dimension has been created in a holographic way, the same as maybe we are in a sophisticated way here on Earth.
A very, very powerful man that I knew, who was a dear friend of mine, okay? And I'm talking about top of the line in this country.
Right.
Very powerful man. He told me that he had died. He said, I'll tell you, Jordan, experience I had about 5 years ago. This was back in the 90s. He said, I died. I was on the operating table, and I died. And he said, and when I died, I felt myself come out of my body. And I felt just fine. And I could hear everybody. I could see what they're doing. I'm watching everything, and everybody's running around like a chicken with their head cut off because my flat line, and everybody's trying to save me. I don't need to be saved. I feel fine. I'm just watching all you people running around. And he said, all of a sudden, he told me, all of a sudden, I felt myself going backwards into a vortex. And I had no control over it. It was sucking me into a vortex. And he said, I went down a long tube, and I could see a light, and as I was going, there was all kinds of colors as I was spinning around in this tube. This is what this old man told me. And he said that when I came out, there was an angel that met me. When I came out of the tube, an angel met me and said, turn around, you go back. You're not supposed to be here. Turn around and go back. And he said, why? And he said, because one of ours is down there, and you have to go help him. So turn around, you got a job to do. And he said, I felt without any, I didn't do it. It was automatic. I just got sucked back into the vortex, and I went back down through until I came back into the operating room. And he says, I came back as I started going to my body, consciously. I came back, and I was looking around, and I saw everybody running around. And then when I felt myself go back into my body, everybody started running around because now my vital signs are coming back. I'm coming back into my body.
That's very similar to what a lot of people have said that they experienced.
And so he said, so I'm telling you, I did that. And that I went through the tunnel and saw the angel, and he told me to come back.
So he believes in that is the end goal, to go to the white light, because he saw He saw the angel.
Well, from
but
what-
is it to be in that karma wheel all the time? We won't get out of the matrix.
Yeah, I understand.
If we can consciously go back again to the body, or we can consciously go to somewhere else, can we choose not to go into that if it is a constructed deception?
But you see, I'm not in a position to answer that because I don't know. I have gone out of my body, and I have way too many friends around the world that have told me about their experience of going out of their body and going through tubes and seeing the light.
Very similarly.
And
Yeah.
I've also talked to people who say, don't go to the light because they're just going to package you
Recycle
and
it,
you
yeah.
go back into the system again. And so and so I asked them, well, if I don't go into the light, where would I go?
Because if these spirits that you talk about,
Yeah.
if they can deceive us here, why wouldn't they be able to do that just
Well, of course.
in a dimension just a
Well,
little
of
bit above?